Most people will spend their entire life trying to become wealthy from the wrong dimension. They push the 3D, they hustle the 3D, they beg the 3D, they argue with the 3D, they take more courses, open more tabs, write more affirmations, build more vision boards, and then they wonder why nothing moves. The reason nothing moves is brutal, and almost no one will say it out loud. The 3D is not your workshop. The 3D is your printout. You are trying to edit a finished page with a pen, when the only thing that actually controls what gets printed is the file. The file is invisible. The file is a state. And the top 1% of earners on this planet are not in that tier because they are smarter, or because they grind harder, or because they had richer parents. They are in that tier because their nervous system occupies a specific internal configuration that the rest of the world never enters. Neville Goddard understood this with a precision that the modern spiritual industry has buried. He called it the state. He told you that assumption hardens into fact. He told you that imagination is the very god of your reality. And the world ignored him because the file is invisible, and the modern mind only respects what it can measure. This video is going to do something different. It is not going to give you another affirmation list. It is not going to tell you to feel grateful. It is going to describe in clinical detail what the top 1% state actually is at the level of the nervous system, what it does to your perception, what it does to your decisions, what it does to your unconscious behavior, and how you enter it deliberately within 6 months without ever needing to touch the 3D. You will not need new clients. You will not need a new job. You will not need a new market cycle. You will not need a guru, a coach, a course, or a savior. You will need to change the file. Once the file is changed, the printer cannot help itself. The printout reorganizes around the file the way water reorganizes around the shape of a glass. This is not magic, this is biology. And Neville knew it. Begin here. The 3D is not the place where wealth is made. The 3D is the place where wealth is delivered. Two completely different functions. The kitchen is not the same as the dining room. The factory is not the same as the showroom. The hard drive is not the same as the screen. Every wealthy person you have ever observed was already wealthy internally before the world started handing them money. The order of events matters. The state comes first, the 3D obeys after. When you reverse this order, when you wait for the 3D to give you proof before you allow yourself to occupy the state, you have just permanently locked yourself out of wealth, because the 3D is incapable of producing what you do not already inhabit. The 3D is a mirror with a delay. It shows you back what you were broadcasting weeks and months ago. If you scream at the mirror screams back. If you stand in front of the mirror and quietly assume you are already the person you want to be, the mirror, after its delay, will produce that person around you with its full set of circumstances, opportunities, contracts, deposits, invitations, and surprises. The delay is the part that destroys most people. They cannot tolerate the gap between the state and the printout. They break state and the printer resets. They never get past the first page. What is the state biologically? This is the question that almost no manifestation teacher will answer because almost none of them know. A state is a stable configuration of your nervous system, your interoceptive signals, your default predictive model, and your inner monologue. Your brain is, at every moment of your life, running a prediction engine. It is predicting what will happen in the next second. It is predicting how much money will be in your account before you check it. It is predicting whether the email you are about to open is good news or bad news. It is predicting whether the person on the other side of the table is going to say yes or no. These predictions are not random. They are built from the state you currently occupy. The state is the assumption your nervous system makes about who you are and what is possible for you. And every prediction your brain emits is shaped by that assumption. Here is the part the soft New Age culture refuses to teach. Your nervous system does not just predict. It actively constructs the very evidence that confirms its prediction. It causes you to send the wrong email at the wrong time. It causes you to forget to follow up. It causes you to undercharge. It causes you to walk away from a deal 1 minute before it would have closed. It causes you to break eye contact when authority looks at you. It causes you to soften your voice when the price comes up. It causes you to apologize for invoices that other people would have sent without a second thought. None of this is conscious. None of this is laziness. None of this is a character defect. This is your nervous system maintaining the integrity of its state. Your nervous system is loyal. It will protect the state at all costs, even if the state is destroying your life, because consistency is what the nervous system was built to defend. Change the state, and every one of those micro-behaviors flips overnight without you trying. The top 1% of earners do not have a stronger work ethic than you. Many of them work less than you. They do not have more discipline than you. Many of them are more chaotic than you. They have a different state file. Their nervous system predicts wealth. Their interoceptive signals tell them constantly that money is coming, that money is normal, that money is owed to them, that money is the natural byproduct of who they are. So their brain constructs the moves, the calls, the silences, the prices, the pauses, the introductions, the boundaries, and the unspoken positioning that produce wealth. They do not have to think about it. The state thinks for them. This is why you can study a billionaire for 10 years, copy every single visible move they make and still not become a billionaire. You are copying the printout. You did not change the file. The file is invisible. The file is the state, and the state is what you are about to enter deliberately with no help from the 3D. 6 months. This is not an optimistic number. This is not a sales pitch. This is the biological cadence of a complete nervous system reconfiguration when the practice is done with discipline. Your nervous system has plasticity. It can change, but it does not change in a weekend. It does not change in 7 days. It does not change in a 30-day challenge. Those timelines are marketing. The actual biology of repatterning a default predictive state takes between roughly 12 and 24 weeks of consistent occupation. 6 months is the middle of that range, and it is what an honest practitioner can promise. Inside 6 months, your state can be unrecognizable from where it is right now, and once the state is unrecognizable, the 3D printout that follows it will be unrecognizable too. Most people give up at week 3 because the printout has not changed yet. Of course it has not changed yet. The printer is still running the old file in its queue. You have to keep occupying the new file long enough for the queue to clear and the new pages to come out. That is the entire game. Occupy the new state long enough for the queue to clear. Almost no one does this. The ones who do become the 1%. Why do 99% of people never enter the state? 3 reasons, and you need to understand all 3 before we move into the protocol. The first reason is that they are addicted to checking the 3D. They cannot stop looking at the bank account, refreshing the email, checking the analytics, watching the metrics. Every time they check, their nervous system gets a fresh hit of the old state because the printout still reflects the old file. The check confirms the old identity. The old identity reinforces the old state. The old state instructs the brain to keep predicting scarcity. The prediction constructs more scarcity behavior. The behavior produces more printouts of the old reality. And the loop closes. 6 months later, they are exactly where they started, except more bitter, because they tried. The second reason is that they do not understand the difference between thinking about wealth and being in the state of wealth. Thinking is not state. You can think positive thoughts inside a poor state all day long, and the state will not move 1 inch. The state is felt, not thought. The state has a body signature, it has a posture, it has a breath rate, it has a pace, it has an internal narrator with a specific tone. It has a set of assumptions that are so deep you do not even recognize them as choices. Most people, when they sit down to manifest, are performing thoughts on top of an unchanged state. The thoughts cannot penetrate the state. The state outvotes the thoughts every single time. This is why affirmations alone almost never work. The state is the parliament. Thoughts are one citizen with a megaphone. The parliament makes the law. The third reason is that they keep being persuaded out of their assumption by other people. Family members ask how the new business is going. Friends ask if they have found a real job yet. Partners express worry about the bills. Each of these conversations is a vote for the old state, and the nervous system, which is built to maintain social coherence, will quietly slide back into the state that other people see them in. This is why the most powerful wealth practitioners become quieter, not louder. They stop discussing their assumption. They stop performing their manifestation in front of skeptics. They go internal. They protect the state the way you would protect a small flame in a windy field. They cup it with their hands. They do not let other people's expectations blow it out. Now we move into the actual entry protocol. Before we go any further, I want you to do one thing. Drop the word state in the comments if you have felt the loop I just described, the loop of trying, checking, breaking, restarting. I read those. The pinned comment has the next step for the people who are ready to stop scratching at the printout and start rewriting the file. It is for the serious ones, and I keep it short on purpose. The protocol for entering the top 1% state is built on 3 principles, and once you understand the principles, the daily practices fall into place naturally. Principle 1. The state is entered through feeling, not through thinking. Principle 2. The state is entered in a relaxed nervous system, not a tense one. Principle 3. The state must be occupied without consulting the 3D for confirmation. We will take each one apart. Feeling is the doorway. Neville said feeling is the secret, and he was being literal. The feeling is the bridge between your assumption and your biology. When you simply think a thought, the thought stays in the cortex. It does not travel down into the body. It does not reach the autonomic nervous system. It does not change the predictive model. But when you feel a thought, when the thought is accompanied by a body sensation, when there is a small flutter in the chest, or a warmth in the belly, or a softening behind the eyes, the thought has just crossed into the part of you that runs your life. The body believes what is felt, not what is said. So the entry into a state is always done through feeling, never through repetition of words. What does the feeling of the top 1% state actually feel like? This is the question almost nobody answers honestly. The feeling is not excitement. The feeling is not euphoria. The feeling is not the giddy energy of just having received money. The feeling is calm ownership. It is the feeling of someone who has had money for so long that money is boring. It is the feeling of someone who knows the deal will close, because deals always close for them. It is the feeling of someone who looks at a price tag and does not flinch, not because they are showing off, but because the price is irrelevant. It is the feeling of someone whose nervous system is at rest in the presence of wealth. That is the feeling you are trying to install. Calm, slightly bored, slightly amused, slightly entitled, in the cleanest sense of that word. The wealthy do not chase money because money is not exciting to them. It is simply there, the way water is simply there for someone who has never known thirst. Spend 10 minutes a day generating this feeling, not affirming it, generating it. Sit somewhere quiet, close your eyes, slow the breath, and imagine, with as much body detail as possible, that you have been wealthy for 20 years. 20 years of bank balances that never dropped, 20 years of invoices being paid the day they were sent, 20 years of investments performing, 20 years of opportunities arriving in your inbox without being chased, 20 years, long enough that none of it is novel. The feeling that comes from this is the feeling you are after. It is quiet. It is dense. It is settled. Anchor to that feeling. Stay in it. When the feeling fades, gently return. 10 minutes is enough. Do this once a day, every day, for 6 months, and the predictive model of your nervous system will reorganize around it. The second principle, the state is entered through a relaxed nervous system. This is the part that almost every modern manifestation teacher gets wrong, and it is the reason most of their students never produce results. They tell you to want it badly. They tell you to feel desperate. They tell you to want it so much that the universe has no choice. This is biologically the opposite of how state change works. A tense nervous system cannot install a new state. A tense nervous system is in defense mode. In defense mode, plasticity is shut down. The brain is conserving resources. It is not interested in updating predictions. It is interested in surviving the next 5 minutes. You cannot rewrite your wealth state from inside a panic. You can only rewrite it from inside a calm body. This is why Neville taught the drowsy state. He called it the state akin to sleep. Modern neuroscience would call it the hypnagogic state, the threshold where the brain shifts from beta waves into alpha and theta. In this state, the analytical mind goes quiet. The defensive system goes quiet. The predictive model becomes editable. Anything you feel in this state goes deep. Anything you assume in this state is taken as fact by the nervous system. This is the editing window. And it is available to you every single night for free, right before you fall asleep. The last 5 minutes before sleep are the most valuable biological real estate you own. What you feel in those 5 minutes is what your nervous system will assume to be true tomorrow. Most people waste that window scrolling. The 1% state is installed in that window with a felt assumption of already being wealthy. 5 minutes, every night. For 6 months. That alone, done correctly, would change your life. The third principle, You must occupy the state without consulting the 3D. This is the discipline that breaks almost everyone. You will be tempted, constantly, to check whether the practice is working. You will check the bank account. You will check the inbox. You will check whether something has shifted in your circumstances. Every check is a vote for the old state, because the 3D in those first weeks has not yet produced the new printout. The queue has not cleared. If you check, you confirm the old reality. If you confirm the old reality, your nervous system slips back into the old state. The new file is overwritten. You restart from zero. You must learn to occupy the state without proof. This is faith in the operational sense, not religious faith. Operational faith. The willingness to remain in the assumption while the world has not yet caught up. The 3D will catch up. It always does. Your job is to not break state while it is catching up. Most of the wealth coaching industry sells you the opposite of this. They sell you tracking. They sell you spreadsheets, they sell you check-ins, they sell you accountability. All of it trains your nervous system to keep re-entering the old state, because every check is a confirmation of the gap. Throw all of it out. For 6 months, you do not check, you do not measure, you do not track, you occupy the state. You let the printout do what printouts do. Without your interference, let us now look at what actually happens inside your nervous system across the 6-month window if you do this with discipline. Week 1 and week 2 will feel like nothing is happening. Your daytime mind will be skeptical. Your environment will look identical. You will not yet feel like a wealthy person while you are walking around. The only thing that will be different is those 10 minutes of imaginal practice and those 5 minutes before sleep. Everything else will look the same. This is the most dangerous phase. Most people quit here because the practice feels small and the world feels unchanged. Stay. Nothing is supposed to change yet. The file is being written. The queue still holds the old pages. Keep writing. Weeks 3 through 6, something subtle starts shifting. You will notice that you respond differently in small situations. A client says something rude and you do not flinch. Normally you would have spiraled. Now you simply notice and move on. A bill arrives and you do not feel the familiar tightening in your chest. You feel a small calm instead. You notice that you are less interested in checking your account. You notice that the urgency to make something happen has reduced. These are not coincidences. These are early signs that your nervous system has begun to reorganize its predictive model. The state is starting to migrate. The 3D has not changed yet, but the body is preparing to receive a different reality. Most people miss these signs because they are looking for money in the bank. The money in the bank is the last domino. The first dominoes are the body. Week 6 through 12, the 3D begins to move. Always quietly at first. A small unexpected payment. A message from someone you had forgotten about. A casual conversation that turns into an opportunity. An old client who returns. A surprise discount or refund. A new idea that arrives clearly and feels obvious. These are bridge of incidence events. Neville described them in detail. They are not the manifestation itself. They are the bridge. They are the way the printer connects the old reality to the new one. The bridge of incidence is fragile. If you respond to these events with shock and excitement, your nervous system will read the shock as a signal that the new reality is unusual. Unusual means it does not belong. Your state will then revert to defend the old reality. So when these events start arriving, you must receive them with calm, with a quiet internal nod. Of course this happened. I have been the person to whom this happens for 20 years. The bridge holds when you treat each event as ordinary. Weeks 12 through 24 are when the printout reorganizes fully. The opportunities get larger. The amounts of money increase. The people around you change. The conversations change. Your daily decisions change. You will catch yourself charging more without anxiety. You will catch yourself saying no to wrong opportunities without explanation. You will catch yourself walking into rooms with a different posture. You will catch yourself not chasing. You will catch yourself receiving. Other people, looking at you from the outside, will say you got lucky. They will say you finally caught a break. They will say the timing finally worked. They are looking at the printout. They cannot see the file. You know what changed. You changed the file 6 months ago, and the printer is just now done updating. This is the actual mechanism of the top 1% state, and it explains a thing that has confused the broke and middle class for centuries. Why is it that wealthy people seem to attract more wealth without effort, while everyone else has to fight for every dollar? It is not unfair. It is not rigged. It is biological. Their nervous system predicts wealth. so their behavior produces wealth. And the 3D, which is a mirror with a delay, reflects wealth back to them. They never break state because their state is the only state they have ever known. They cannot conceive of the alternative. They are not even trying. The state is doing all of it. The state thinks for them. The state moves for them. The state speaks for them. You can have the same state deliberately installed in 6 months without ever asking the 3D for permission. A few things will try to break you during the 6 months, and you need to be warned about them in advance. The first is impatience. Your conscious mind is built for short-term feedback. It wants visible reward inside a week. It wants something tangible to confirm the practice. The conscious mind will tell you the practice is not working. The conscious mind is wrong. The conscious mind cannot see the file. It can only see the printout. Ignore the conscious mind on this question. The body is the one keeping score, and the body works on biological timelines, not on emotional ones. The second thing that will try to break you is social pressure. People in your life will notice you have gone quieter. They will notice you have stopped complaining. They will notice you have stopped explaining. Some of them will be uncomfortable with this. Some of them will try to pull you back into the old conversations, the old worries, the old jokes about being broke. You must let those conversations end without you. You do not have to announce anything. You do not have to declare a new identity. You simply do not participate. The old state needs the old conversations to survive. Remove the conversations and the old state has no oxygen. The third thing is the temptation to teach. Once you start feeling the new state, you will want to tell everyone. You will want to explain. You will want to be the one who figured it out. Do not. Telling people about your assumption while it is still being installed is one of the fastest ways to dilute it. The mouth leaks the state. Keep your mouth closed for the first 6 months. After the state is installed and the 3D has reorganized, you can do whatever you want. But until then, you guard the state in silence. The wealthy old families have known this for generations. It is the reason real money is quiet. Loud money is usually unstable. Quiet money is usually permanent. There is one more layer to this that almost no one teaches, and it will help you understand why the top 1% state is so rare. The state requires that you stop being available to your old identity in subtle ways. Your old identity had a wardrobe. It had a vocabulary. It had a posture. It had a list of grievances. It had a tone of voice when authority entered the room. It had a way of standing in line. It had a way of walking past expensive things and pretending not to look. All of this is the body of the old state. The new state has a different body. You do not have to fake the new body. You do not have to perform wealth, but you do have to stop performing scarcity. You can stop apologizing for taking up space. You can stop preemptively explaining your prices. You can stop discounting yourself before anyone has even asked. You can stop telling self-deprecating jokes about your finances. Every one of those micro-behaviors is a vote for the old state. Cut them, not aggressively, just quietly. One at a time. Each cut frees up nervous system capacity to install the new file. 6 months from today, if you do this work, your inner experience of money will be unrecognizable. The 3D will be in the middle of catching up. You will be sitting somewhere quiet, noticing that the urgency is gone, that the chasing is gone, that the fear is gone, and that opportunities are arriving on their own. You will look back at the version of you that started, and you will recognize that the version did not change because of luck, or timing, or a hot economy, or a new strategy. The version changed because the file changed, and once the file changes, the printer cannot help itself. This is the path Neville pointed at when he said imagination creates reality. He did not mean fantasy. He did not mean wishing. He did not mean visualization in the modern shallow sense. He meant that the imaginal act, when felt and assumed and held in a calm body, becomes the predictive engine of your nervous system, and from that predictive engine, the entire 3D is constructed around you. He was not being mystical. He was describing biology before the word neuroscience existed in the form we have it. He was correct. And the proof is in every person who has ever entered the top 1%, without effort, without family money, without a viral break, without a famous mentor. They occupied the state. The state did the rest. A few practical clarifications. Because every time I teach this, the same questions arrive. People ask whether they need to visualize a specific number, a specific house, a specific car, a specific lifestyle. The answer is no. Specific images are useful for some people and distracting for others. The non-negotiable is the feeling. If specific images help you reach the feeling of calm, wealthy ownership, use them. If specific images make you feel further from the state because the gap between the image and your current life is too large, abandon the images and work directly with the feeling. The feeling is the medicine. The images are the delivery vehicle. Some people swallow the medicine more easily with a particular vehicle. Choose what works for your nervous system. Do not let any teacher tell you there is one correct image. The correct image is the one that produces the correct state in your body. People also ask whether they should keep working in the meantime. Yes, keep doing what you are doing in the 3D. Keep your job, keep your business, keep your clients. The point is not to abandon the 3D. The point is to stop trying to manipulate the 3D into producing wealth before the state is installed. Do your work calmly. Show up. Be reliable. But internally, do not be working for the money. Internally, behave as someone who already has the money, who is simply doing the work because the work is satisfying or because the work is part of who you are. The internal posture is what matters. The external activity can remain the same. Over time, the external activity will reorganize on its own. New work will appear. Old work will fall away. Better paying clients will arrive. You do not have to engineer any of this. The state will engineer it for you. People ask whether they will lose relationships. Sometimes, yes. The relationships that were built on the foundation of the old state will struggle to survive the new one. Some of them will adapt. Some will not. The ones that do not adapt will end without drama, usually because the other person quietly stops calling. Do not chase. Do not explain. Do not apologize for becoming a different person. People who were drawn to your scarcity will not be drawn to your sufficiency. This is fair. New people will arrive who are drawn to the state you now occupy. They will feel familiar instantly. They will be at your same frequency. Wealth is, among other things, a matter of who you are sitting next to. The state will rearrange the seating chart of your life. Trust it. People ask whether they need a mantra, a script, a journal, a meditation app, a particular teacher. The answer is no to all of it. You need 3 things. You need 10 minutes a day of imaginal practice in a calm body. You need 5 minutes before sleep occupying the felt state of already being wealthy. You need the discipline to not check the 3D for proof. That is the entire system. Everything else is decoration. The decoration can be useful if it helps you remain consistent, but the decoration cannot replace the 3 things. If you only do the 3 things with nothing else for 6 months, your life will change. If you do all the decoration and skip the 3 things, your life will not change. People ask whether they should tell their partner what they are doing. This depends on the partner. If your partner is steady and supportive and capable of holding silence with you, telling them once briefly is fine. If your partner will worry, ask questions, request updates, or accidentally invalidate the assumption, do not tell them. Do the work quietly. Let the 3D catch up. Let the partner notice the results. Words are leakage, results are proof. Choose results over words. Now here is the part most people miss, and it is the hidden engine that makes the whole thing accelerate. The top 1% state is self-reinforcing once installed. After about 90 days of consistent practice, you will start to feel pulled into the state without effort. The state will start to occupy you instead of you having to occupy it. This is the inflection point. From that moment forward, the entire practice gets easier. The drowsy state arrives more quickly. The calm, wealthy feeling becomes the new default. The defensive scarcity feeling becomes the exception, not the rule. Your nervous system has now adopted the new state as its baseline. The remaining 90 days are about deepening, not building. By month 6, the state is installed. You are no longer a person practicing wealth consciousness. You are a person inhabiting it. The practice ends. The state remains. And from that state, the rest of your life unfolds. Make no mistake about how rare this is. Almost no one in the world has installed this state deliberately. Most of the wealthy were born inside it. Most of the broke have never known it exists. There is a narrow third category of people who, through reading Neville and doing the work for real, have entered the state from outside. That category is small. You can be in it. The barrier to entry is not money, not intelligence, not connections. The barrier to entry is 6 months of consistent state occupation without consulting the 3D for permission. That is a high barrier because patience is the rarest commodity in the modern mind. Almost everyone breaks state before the queue clears. The few who do not change tier. You are at a decision point. The decision is not whether you believe this. Belief is not necessary. The mechanism works whether you believe it or not, the same way the nervous system constructs predictions whether you understand neuroscience or not. The decision is whether you are willing to do the work for the time required. 10 minutes of imaginal practice in a calm body once a day. 5 minutes of felt assumption before sleep, every night. No checking, no tracking, no announcing. For 6 months. That is it. If you do it, the 3D will reorganize around the new state. There will be money, there will be opportunities, there will be a level of calm in your daily life that you have never felt. There will be the strange experience of looking at your own bank account and feeling almost nothing, because the money is no longer novel to your nervous system. That is the top 1% state. That is what Neville pointed at. That is what the wealthy occupy without thinking. And that is what you can install in 6 months, starting tonight, in the 5 minutes before you fall asleep. Tell me in the comments which state you are choosing. Write it in the present tense, as if you have already been inside it for 20 years. Let the words land in your nervous system the way ink lands on a page. I read every comment. The pinned comment has the next step for the ones who are serious. 6 months from today, the version of you reading those comments will not recognize the version of you writing them. That is the work. That is the path. Stay quiet. Stay calm. Occupy the state. Let the printer do the rest.